Welcome to the Last Mile Profits videocast, the last word on the last mile.
Modern Expo provides an integral ecosystem of screen-operated lockers, screenless autonomous solutions, refrigerated lockers, and even personal parcel lockers, powered by in-house developed software. Hello everyone, holiday time again, so I'm on my own, but again, I think the producer and I have found a really good story. We want to talk about InPostPay. Now, you've heard about InPost lockers, you've heard about InPost parcel deliveries, but I would imagine that most of you have not heard about InPostPay. So what is it? As you can imagine, it's a tool which allows people who have access to the InPost app to pay for their goodies. Not really directly parcel related, but actually quite convenient for a customer and potentially for e-shops who want an alternative to the traditional payment tools, which in Poland would be something like PayU or PayPal. So in that respect, I think it's quite interesting. InPost thinks it can work, I think, largely because of the fact that they have a big community using their app anyway, because that's the fundamental thing. If you don't have enough users of the app, then it becomes irrelevant. Apparently, it's really easy when if you have a merchant that participates in the program, when you order your parcel, you can just choose to pay by InPostPay. And in a way, it's attractive because it allows InPost to add convenience to its customers, but also it adds an opportunity for making additional revenue. You may remember from previous videocasts that I'm a big fan of seeking to leverage the fact that you're serving customers, you're at their doorstep, they use your app, to find ways to actually give them some kind of value-added service, but a service that also makes money for you, the postal provider or carrier. Some of the examples I've seen in the past were, for example, some basic market research. So there was a project, I believe in Ireland for DPD, whereby some cosmetic clients were actually saying, look, we'd really like to know what people think, why they're buying certain items. And if I remember correctly, they were prepared to pay as much, if not more, than the cost of the delivery was in itself. So I think this is really great. InPost thinks it can work, and I think the key thing is, can they get the critical mass? Because all things like that are about having enough users on board and enough merchants that will accept the service. So I think this is going to be the $64,000 question. Are they able to do that? They certainly have a very strong position and they certainly have enough users. So, let's see how it works. There is one other point, of course. Does it work? Is it as simple as they say that it is? Is it going to work as easily as the contactless app works when I want to use a locker? So, InPost guys, we're going to be observing. And if that's the case, I think that ticks a few boxes. So let's assume that actually it does work. Could it work for other carriers or other postal operators in other markets? I think the answer is yes, but they have to have a few key elements on board. First of all, I think it's critical that they have a critical mass of customers. I can't remember how many million, but I think I read somewhere that it's 8 million people have the InPost app, could be more now. So I think it's really important that you have that critical mass of users. Even more important, they've got to be active users. And I think the second thing, and InPost certainly has this as well, is relationships and service partnership with merchants, because you want the merchants to have, under the click box, this opportunity to use that payment tool. So if an operator does have those advantages, then this would seem to be a very attractive way to make extra revenue, make things more convenient for the consignee, because the consignee can keep everything in one place, and potentially also give some kind of choice for smaller merchants who maybe aren't able to get the kind of deal they'd want from the big players like PayPal, or in Poland's case, PayU. So I think it's going to be important to observe how it develops. Value-added services like this are interesting. It could be the beginning of other value-added services. And finally, I think it's worth mentioning that for InPost, this could be part of a wider plan to actually have looked at creating perhaps their own eShop. So could this be part of it? I don't think that their attempts in the past worked so well, but maybe this is some kind of stepping stone towards that. I don't know. It'd be great to have your opinions. So please, come back with your comments, especially if there's someone close to InPost. Come back with your comments, your challenges to my thoughts on this. I think it's a cool topic and it'll be really good to talk about it. Thanks for watching this Last Mile Profits video. For more up-to-date last mile news and analysis, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn.